I had this thought a while back, and I was thinking like, hey, the standard AUG uses that thick spring because it has to secure the magazine. But they reused that same spring in the NATO AUG, even though that's not what's securing the magazine. There's a secondary spring in the side of the stock. That's what secures the magazine. Anyways, to remove the mag release, you're gonna press the real like NATO button here, and then you're just gonna pull it out. The spring should fall out as well, and this is the same exact spring they use on the standard guns, which is fucking stupid. Anyways, I tried doing it without a spring at all. And what I learned, as a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and show you real quick. So again, press the NATO mag release whenever you're like reinserting it. Kind of like shimmy it in there. Pay attention to where that leg on the NATO mag release is going, and there we go. Okay. Takes a little bit of shimmy, but got it in there. Anyways, so I got to trying it like this without the mag release spring, and it worked just fine. But there was one pretty annoying problem that I just thought was unacceptable. But the problem is there's a really narrow window where if it's too loose, all of a sudden this just starts flapping about everywhere. And if it's too tight, it doesn't want to return. Your mag could fall out. So I thought, hey, you know, this is actually not bad. But in my opinion, it's just not acceptable. It needs a little bit of help. If you want to run it without a spring, that's fine, but you know, your mileage may vary. Like, it just isn't returning 100%. I push it, and then it comes back a little bit more. Anyways, how we're gonna fix that is with a modified AR-15 trigger spring. Literally just take your trigger spring. Normally it comes back in like a sort of like that shape. You're literally just gonna take your pliers and fucking bend it back to where it's basically an L shape. Not quite, but close enough. And you are going to reinsert this. Where's my mag release? Oh, it's in the gun. God, I'm a fucking genius. Right. So, in order to give ourselves a little bit better of a window to not have the mag release just randomly like stick up on us, we're gonna give it the slightest bit of help with this weak spring. There it goes. Again, NATO mag release, boom, pull the secondary out. And before we insert this, we're gonna grab our grease and your tool of choice, of which mine will be a Q-tip. And you are going to slather a shitload of grease on two places. The first place is gonna be inside the gun, on the back side of this guy right here. I'll put a picture up on screen, but you're basically just going to cake this bitch in grease, because there's really no downside to doing it. If it gets dirty, it's not going to gum up the gun. It's nowhere near the operating components. So get that bitch as greasy as you want. It'll come off on the excess, or the excess will come off on your magazines as you insert them. And the second place we're going to glob the fuck up is this little leg here. Now this little leg is what's actually interacting with the piece inside the stock that we just lubed. And this little leg has a little rotating bearing of sorts on it. Not a bearing, but it's a little rotating steel piece. And we're just, again, we're gonna fucking cake this bitch in grease. Just because we want to try and get it under the metal. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. Grab an AR-15 trigger pin, because we can use AR-15 trigger pins as slave pins in the AUG Mag Release. It is the perfect length to fit up in there. and it's almost the perfect girth as well. It's really close. So we're going to use this the same way you would the regular spring. Gonna shove this guy in there. This thing is very, very scuffed, but we don't care. We're gonna keep that nice and aligned. We're gonna insert this guy in the stock. Press the NATO Mag Release. In she goes. Cool. And because the spring is a lot weaker this time, it's not going to take near as much effort to push through. There it goes. Look at that. Easy. Now we're going to retighten this. And if you didn't know, I mean, you've already seen me do it once, but the correct way to do an AUG Mag Release is to tighten and then test. That's not coming back. The spring is too weak, so I'm going to turn it back about 3/4. Coming back. Is there any excess? So yeah, there's a little bit more that could be coming back, so it probably won't be a problem, but again, we're running a weaker spring here, so there we go. I saw it come back the rest of the way. Hang on, let me. So yeah, with that weaker spring in there, actually, I literally just realized this. You're going to slowly release the pressure until you see that mag release come back. There it goes. So it's the tiniest bit more. There we go. And that is good to go. It is not coming out anymore. Boom. Yep, perfect. So now the mag release is good to go. It's much lighter, and thanks to the grease, it's a lot smoother too. So that's gonna wrap up the mag release tuning. It really is as simple as reducing spring weight and greasing things up. It's a shame Steyr chose to reuse this part, because fuck, how much would a different spring have cost? Like 5 cents?